there, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could make it because in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to deep clean your Bella's cold smoke generator. This is a unit sold by Smokin' It Smokers. I'll put a link in the description box if you want any information. And if you've been keeping up with the channel, you know we use this a lot. Almost every time that I turn my smoker on, we fire up the cold smoke generator. It's an absolutely brilliant unit, but eventually you're going to have to deep clean this unit because over time the inside will get super dirty and that's going to affect its performance. And so what I'm going to show you is how I like to clean my Bella's cold smoke generator. By the time we are done, we will have this looking just like new with little to no effort. Let's get started. All right, let's look at our smoker, and right off the bat you can see I've got some issues. I'm not going to cover those issues in this video as this is more of a cleaning video. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button because in an upcoming video we're going to cover all the issues that you could possibly have with your cold smoke generator, like this. Why is there creosote on the side of my smoker? Well, we'll talk about it then. This is a really easy unit to remove from your smoker. Look how nasty that is. Woo! All you got to do is give the smoke tube a little twist and then pull it out. Comes out super easy. And depending on the model cold smoker you have, you may either have to remove the screws or just loosen them. In my case, I just have to loosen them because I took an angle grinder to that cold smoker and opened those notches all the way to the bottom. So I can leave the screws in place, not a problem. All right, now that it's off, let's go ahead and move into a different room so that we can take a look at everything a little bit closer, because all I want to do here is take this unit completely apart. We're going to remove the base and just make sure that there's nothing remaining in the hopper. Once we do that, we're going to remove this part right here. This is where the air tube gets connected to the cold smoke generator. Very easy to take this unit apart, one of the great features of the Bella's cold smoke generator. And as you can see, this is actually pretty clean, but I'm going to toss this into the mix for safe measure. Let's take a look at the hopper, and this is where, you're going to have the majority of your problems. If your hopper is not clean, then all of this debris on the walls can restrict how your pellets or wood chips move while they're being burned. So if you're having an issue where your cold smoker is not running as efficient as it should, there's a pretty decent chance that you need to do a deep clean, in which case you came to the right place. Let's take a look at the smoke tube, because this particular part I actually clean after every cold smoke, because depending on the kind of wood that I'm burning or how long I'm smoking for, every once in a while, as you can see right there, I'll get a little bit of gunk build up, and you don't want any obstruction. Now, there is a cleaning kit that you can get for the Bella's cold smoke generator, and I highly recommend it. It's very simple, only has 3 components. One is a heavy gauge wire that fits perfectly into the air nipple, and all that does is slide right on in there, nice tight fit. And this cleaning kit, just so you know, is going to be great for your routine cleaning. So after you're done smoking or using your cold smoke generator, you can pull this kit out like this right here. This is the plunger, and that fits right into that smoke tube. And it's great for cleaning out any debris that remains after a cold smoke. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but just pop it on through and your obstruction is now gone. And then finally you have the metal brush component that just finishes up the job. Super easy, stick it in the tube, take it out, and you're good to go. I normally use this kit after every smoke, and that just ensures that everything is running smoothly. But like I said, we're doing a deep clean today, so let's get back to it. Now, there's a lot of ways to clean out this cold smoke generator. One way is to scrub the heck out of it till your arm breaks, and then switch arms and continue scrubbing. But that is not what we're going to be doing today, because remember, today's way is ultra easy, super lazy. It almost cleans itself. Let's finish taking this unit apart. I'm going to remove the screw and the knob for the lid, and we're just going to set all that to the side. And I do want to remove that top component. Now, depending on the model cold smoke generator that you have, you may or may not have this feature. Not a big deal. When it comes to deep cleaning, I like to use a plastic bin. This one is absolutely brilliant because you can stick your cold smoke generator right in it and it fits perfectly. I'll put a link in the description if you want more info. I also like to use a little drain cleaner. Now, this is sodium hydroxide in the granular form. You could use it to unclog drains. You could make soap with it. In this case, we're going to be using it to deep clean our cold smoke generator, and you are going to just love how easy this is. Let's move over to the sink and finish up the process. Okay, everything is ready. Make sure you're working in a well-ventilated area if you're going to do this. Notice we do have gloves on, and I am wearing eye protection. And what we're going to do here is put about half of that container inside of that Tupperware bin. That's it. Nothing too complicated here. Depending on how dirty it is, you could put the whole container. I've done that as well, and it works fine. We are going to use warm to hot water that activates the sodium hydroxide, gets it really going pretty fast. Now, it is going to start to fume as soon as it gets active. That's why you want to work in a well-ventilated area. Place the top back on your bin, and give it a couple swirls just to make sure that all the sodium hydroxide is properly dissolved. And it looks like, yep, looks like it is. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and fill that plastic bin halfway up with water. And that's it. Next, place all your cold smoker components inside the bin. I'm going to start with the biggest, which is the hopper. And then everything else I'm just either going to put inside of it or around it. And this solution that we're creating is basically like an ultra concentrated oven cleaner or a degreaser. I mean, it is incredibly alkaline. That means it's got a high pH, and it is going to do a spectacular job. Let's take a look at this last little piece. I want you to remember what this looks like going in, okay? Super dirty going in, and then we'll talk about it when it comes out. At this point, now that everything's in there, we're going to fill that plastic container up just past the line of where that hopper is. So we just want everything submerged under the water. And so when I get, maybe a ½ inch above the hopper, doesn't even have to be that much. Let's move this out of the sink and onto the table. And let me get in a little bit closer so that you can see what's going on. This has been in the solution for maybe 30 seconds at this point. We do have a lid on it, and I think that's super important. You want to keep a lid on it. Just the slightest agitation shows that the debris on the smoker, that caked on stuff, is already starting to get loose, melt away, and just literally fall right off. Because this solution is so caustic, you want to place it in an area where children can't touch it. The last thing you want is your child reaching up for this thing, it falling over, and then spilling all over the place. That would not be a good thing. So make sure you place it in an area where kids cannot get to, and you're going to leave it there undisturbed for 12 to 24 hours. The amount of time that you leave it in there really depends on how dirty it is. If it's super dirty, I would let it hang out in that solution for about 24 hours. This is what ours looked like after about, I would say it was about 18 hours that I left it in that solution. Mine was pretty dirty, I got to be honest. And I'm going to go ahead and drain this out. Nice and easy. You definitely want to have gloves on for this step because it's still a very caustic solution. And if you get it on you, it'll burn. So get some gloves on, not a big problem. Let's set that to the side and go ahead and remove all the components from that little bin. I'm loving the way everything looks here. Hopper looks nice. There's the air nipple. Everything is looking exactly as it should. You remember this disc at the beginning? Now, we did not agitate. We did not do nothing. Look at the before and after. Check that out. That's incredible. Now, once you're done with your soak, you might have a little residual, but nothing that just won't come off, with a little wipe or a sponge, which brings me to the final stage. And this is literally the most labor-intensive part of the entire process, and that's to rinse everything off well under running water. And if you happen to have any residual, like in the case of this disc, just scrub it down with a soapy sponge and check that out. Literally looks just like new. There's the air nipple. That was already pretty clean going in there, but if it would have been dirty, you get the idea. So let's go ahead and rinse that out. There's the base of the smoker. That's awesome. Check that out. All right, here's the top. Now remember the top? The top was super nasty. You got a lot of that gunk in there, a lot of that debris and buildup and all that stuff. Basically caused from excess smoke coming out of the top of the smoker. You got creosote, you got carbon, you got all that. Anyway, at that level, that's not what your smoker's supposed to be doing. So that lets me know there's a problem. So you definitely want to stick around for part 2 where we cover, problems and how to fix them, troubleshooting tips, and ultimately how to get the most out of your cold smoke generator. Check that out. When it comes to the tube, I like to take the metal brush like this and just push it one time. You can do it a couple times all the way through, pull it out the other side. I find that to be the easiest way. And that cleans everything out super nice. That was already clean, but this just makes sure it is spotless. Very good. All right. And for the final piece, we've got our hopper. I am going to go ahead and rinse the entire outside. Give it a nice soapy sponge. Just make sure there's no residual sodium hydroxide. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the inside walls. Hey, chime in the comment section below. How do you clean your Bella's cold smoke generator? And what's your experience been with cleaning it? This right here could be the most difficult part to clean, but I want you to see right here with your own eyes the results of our cleaning method. Check that out. One last little thing I like to do before I put it all back together is just give everything a once over. Check the smoke tube, make sure everything's clear. Check the air nipple, just like that. Looks absolutely beautiful. And then we'll reassemble the cap, and our cold smoker is ready to go. I honestly wish all cleanings were this easy. And there you have it, guys. That's how I like to clean my Bella's cold smoke generator. Super easy. I mean, we've got this unit looking just like new with little to no effort. Everything inside of it just melted away. This is ready to go back on the smoker, and we are done. Now, I do want to say that there are lots of different ways to clean this unit. This is just an example. Some are a little more labor intensive than others. If you choose to use this method, just remember that you are working with a caustic chemical. You're basically doing a caustic soda dip to clean this unit. So work safely, well-ventilated area because there will be fumes. Wear gloves and protective eye gear and you are good to go. If you have any questions about this process, leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video or got something out of it in any way, a thumbs up is always helpful. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch the follow-up video on the Bellows Cold Smoke Generator, where we talk about the ins and outs of this unit and how to get the most out of your cold smoker. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.